Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button because today's story is absolutely insane. We're talking about being completely underestimated, proving everyone wrong, and the sweetest taste of victory you can imagine. Have you ever had someone in authority tell you that you couldn't do something, that you weren't good enough, that you should just give up? Well, that happened to me, and I had exactly 1 week to prove them wrong. This story involved a skeptical training officer, a nearly impossible challenge, long sleepless nights, and a moment of triumph that I'll remember for the rest of my life. And yes, it all happened in just 7 days. Before we dive in, if you enjoy underdog stories where hard work pays off, smash that like button and let me know in a comment about a time when someone doubted you and you proved them wrong. All right, let's get into this. So this happened about a year ago. I had just been accepted into the police academy training program in my city. This was literally my dream since I was a kid. I wanted to be a police officer, serve my community, and make a difference. Now, let me give you some context about me. I'm not your typical police recruit. I'm 5 feet 4 inches. I weigh about 125 pounds, and I look way younger than my actual age at 24. I also came from a background in social work, not military or law enforcement. So yeah, I definitely didn't fit the stereotypical image people have of cops. But I was determined. I'd been preparing for this for 2 years, working out, studying law enforcement procedures, volunteering with community programs. I was ready. The police academy is intense. It's 26 weeks of physical training, classroom work, defensive tactics, firearms training, emergency vehicle operations, and so much more. The dropout rate is about 30% because it's just that demanding. On my first day, we had orientation with all the training officers. That's where I met Officer Derek Martinez. Officer Martinez was a 20-year veteran, built like a tank, with a reputation for being the toughest training officer in the program. He was also known for having very traditional views about who should be in law enforcement. When I walked into the room with the other recruits, I felt his eyes on me immediately. After the orientation, he pulled me aside. "Recruit Williams," he said, looking me up and down. "Can I speak with you for a moment?" We stepped into a side office. He crossed his arms and got straight to the point. "Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I've been doing this for 20 years, and I've seen a lot of recruits come through. Based on your physical profile and background, I don't think you're going to make it through this program." I felt my stomach drop, but I kept my composure. "Officer Martinez, I'm fully prepared for challenges." "No, I don't think you understand how physically demanding this is. This isn't social work. This is real law enforcement. You'll be expected to restrain suspects who are twice your size, run for extended periods while carrying equipment, and handle life or death situations. I'm aware of the requirements, sir. I've been training. Training at a gym is different from the reality of this job." He shook his head. "I'm not trying to be cruel. I'm trying to save you time and disappointment. Maybe you should consider other career paths more suited to your profile." I felt anger rising, but I pushed it down. "With all due respect, sir, I'm not dropping out. I'm here to complete this program." He sighed. "All right. Tell you what, I'm going to give you a chance to prove me wrong. We have a physical assessment that normally happens at the end of week 4. I'll let you take it at the end of week 1. If you can pass it, I'll personally train you and make sure you succeed. If you can't, you agree to seriously reconsider whether this is the right path." "What does the assessment involve?" "It's a timed obstacle course followed by an endurance test. You'll need to complete a series of physical challenges that simulate real police work. Climbing walls, dragging a 165-pound dummy 50 feet, completing a pursuit run, and defensive tactic scenarios. You need to complete it in under 12 minutes with proper form." "And recruits normally have 4 weeks to prepare for this?" "Correct. You'll have 1 week. 7 days. He was trying to set me up to fail. He wanted me to quit before I even really started. But you know what? I've been underestimated my entire life. Because of my size, because of my appearance, because I don't fit people's preconceived notions. And I've spent my entire life proving doubters wrong. "I accept," I said firmly. 1 week. I'll pass your assessment. A small smile crossed his face, not a friendly one. We'll see. Training starts tomorrow at 6 a.m. Don't be late. That night, I couldn't sleep. My mind was racing. What had I just agreed to? An assessment that recruits normally spend a month preparing for, and I had 1 week? I got up at 4 a.m. and went to the academy gym. I needed to see exactly what I was up against. I found the obstacle course layout and walked through it, taking notes on every station. Station 1. 6-foot wall climb. Station 2. Low crawl under barriers, 30 feet. Station 3. Dummy drag. 165-pound dummy, 50 feet. Station 4. Pursuit run, 400 meters with 20-pound vest. Station 5. Defensive tactics, grappling with a training officer. Station 6. Final sprint, 100 meters. All in under 12 minutes. With proper form. After only 1 week of training. Most recruits failed this on their first attempt, even with 4 weeks of preparation. I started developing a strategy. I couldn't rely on pure strength. I'd never be as strong as the 200-pound male recruits. I needed to be smart, use technique, and maximize efficiency. Day 1 of training started at 6 a.m. sharp. Officer Martinez was there, watching me like a hawk. The physical training was brutal. Push-ups, sit-ups, running, more running, obstacle courses, defensive tactics. By the end of the first day, every muscle in my body was screaming. As I was leaving, Martinez stopped me. First day done. How are you feeling? Good, sir. Ready for tomorrow. 6 more days until your assessment. Better make them count. That night, I studied videos of police training courses. I watched technique demonstrations. I took notes on the most efficient ways to climb walls, the proper body mechanics for dragging weight, the best breathing patterns for endurance running. I also reached out to other officers I'd met during my preparation phase, people who believed in me. One of them, Officer Sarah Chun, agreed to meet me at 5 a.m. every morning to give me extra training before the official academy day started. Day 2, up at 4 a.m. Extra training with Officer Chun from 5 to 6 a.m. Official academy training from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Then back to the gym for technique work from 7 to 9 p.m. Study time from 9 to 11 p.m. Sleep from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. 5 hours of sleep. Repeat. Officer Chin was amazing. She was also smaller than the average officer, and she developed incredible techniques for using leverage and momentum instead of pure strength. The dummy drag is going to be your biggest challenge, she told me. You can't just muscle a 165-pound dead weight. You need to use your whole body, keep your center of gravity low, and use short, powerful movements. We practiced for an hour. My hands were bleeding by the end, but I was getting faster. Day 3, Martinez increased the intensity. He seemed determined to break me. During defensive tactics training, he paired me with the biggest recruit in the class, a former college football player who was 6 feet 2 inches and 240 pounds. Let's see how you handle a real suspect, Martinez said with that same smile. The recruit, his name was Jake, was actually a nice guy. He looked uncomfortable. I don't want to hurt you, he whispered. Don't hold back, I told him. I need to learn this. For the next 30 minutes, Jake and I grappled. I got thrown around, knocked down, and completely outmatched in terms of strength. But I was learning. I was finding angles, using his momentum against him, and started to understand how technique could compensate for size. Martinez watched the whole thing. When it was over, he said, "For more days." That night, I could barely move. My body was covered in bruises. Officer Chin had warned me this would happen. Your body is going to want to quit, she'd said. That's when your mind has to be stronger. Day 4, I practiced the wall climb 50 times. By the end, I could do it in under 8 seconds. My arms felt like jelly, but I was getting faster. Day 5, the low crawl. I practiced until my elbows were raw. I learned to keep my body flat, use my forearms and toes for propulsion, and maintain a steady rhythm. My time improved by 12 seconds. Day 6, the pursuit run. This was about cardiovascular endurance and mental toughness. Officer Chin ran with me, pushing me to maintain pace even when my lungs were burning and my legs felt like lead. Pain is temporary, she kept saying. Quitting is forever. Day 7, the day before the assessment. Martinez found me during lunch. Tomorrow's the big day, he said. You ready to admit this was a mistake? I looked him straight in the eye. I'll see you at the course tomorrow, sir. He studied me for a moment. You know, I actually respect that you didn't quit. Most people would have. But respect doesn't change reality. You're not going to pass this assessment. We'll see. That evening, Officer Chin met me one last time. We didn't do heavy training, just technique review and mental preparation. You've done the work, she told me. Your body is ready. Now your mind needs to be ready. When you're on that course tomorrow and your muscles are screaming and you want to quit, remember why you're doing this. To prove him wrong. I said, no. She shook her head. To prove yourself right. This isn't about Martinez. This is about showing yourself what you're capable of. The victory is for you, not against him. That shifted something in my mind. She was right. This wasn't about revenge or proving a point. It was about proving to myself that I belonged here. That night, I actually slept well. 7 hours. I woke up at 5 a.m. feeling nervous, but ready. I ate a good breakfast. I stretched. I visualized the course in my mind, seeing myself successfully completing each station. At 7 a.m., I arrived at the training facility. The entire recruit class was there. They'd all heard about the challenge. Officer Martinez was there with his clipboard. Several other training officers had come to watch. The atmosphere was tense. Some of my fellow recruits gave me encouraging smiles. Others looked skeptical. Everyone was wondering if I could actually pull this off. Martinez called me over. Last chance to back out, Williams. I'm not backing out, sir. All right then. The rules. You have 12 minutes to complete all 6 stations. If you fall off an obstacle, you start that station over. If your form breaks down, you get a time penalty. If you give up at any point, you fail. Clear. Clear, sir. Take your position at the starting line. I stood at the line. My heart was pounding. I could hear whispers from the other recruits. I saw Officer Chin in the crowd, giving me a confident nod. Martinez raised his whistle. On your mark, get set. Tweet. I exploded off the line toward the first obstacle, the 6-foot wall. I hit it with momentum, grabbed the top, and pulled myself up using the technique I'd practiced 100 times. Up and over. 7 seconds. Station 2, low crawl. I dropped to my belly and moved like a machine, flat, efficient, fast. The gravel scraped my elbows, but I didn't slow down. 32 seconds. Station 3, the dummy drag. This was it. The one everyone said I couldn't do. The 165-pound training dummy was lying there like a challenge. I grabbed the harness, got my center of gravity low, and started pulling. Short, powerful movements. Use the legs. Keep moving. Don't stop. My lungs were burning. My legs were shaking. But the dummy was moving. Move it, Williams, someone shouted from the crowd. I blocked it out. Focus. Pull. Step. Pull. Step. The 50-foot mark seemed like a mile away. Finally, I crossed it. 2 minutes, 18 seconds into the course. Station 4, pursuit run. I grabbed the 20-pound weighted vest, strapped it on, and took off. 400 meters. This was about not letting the pain stop me. My body wanted to slow down, but my mind pushed harder. Officer Chen's voice in my head. Pain is temporary. Quitting is forever. I hit the 400-meter mark at 6 minutes 45 seconds. Halfway through the time limit. I was still in this. Station 5, defensive tactics. A training officer was waiting. Not Jake, but another large officer who outweighed me by at least 100 pounds. I had to successfully perform 3 defensive maneuvers, escape from a bear hug, perform a takedown, and maintain control for 10 seconds. The officer grabbed me from behind in a bear hug. I used the technique Officer Chin taught me, dropped my weight, created space, and twisted out. Success. Now the takedown. He rushed at me. I used his momentum, stepped to the side, and took him to the ground. My hands were shaking from exhaustion, but I maintained the control position. 10 seconds. Martinez shouted, watching the timer. I held it. My entire body was trembling, but I held it. Clear. Move to the final station. Station 6, the final sprint. 100 meters. I had less than 2 minutes left to finish, under 12 minutes total. I looked down at the track. My vision was blurry from sweat and exhaustion. Every muscle was screaming. I could barely breathe. But I thought about every person who ever doubted me. Every time someone told me I was too small, too young, too different. Every moment I'd felt like I didn't belong. And I ran. I didn't know if I had the energy left. My legs felt like cement, but I forced them to move, one step at a time. Don't stop. Don't quit. Just move forward. The finish line was getting closer. I could hear people shouting, but it sounded like underwater. Everything was tunnel vision. 20 meters, 10 meters, 5 meters. I crossed the finish line and collapsed. I literally could not stand up. I laid there on the ground, gasping for air, my entire body shaking. Then I heard Martinez's voice. Time, 11 minutes, 42 seconds. I'd done it, with 18 seconds to spare. The crowd erupted. My fellow recruits were cheering. Officer Chin was jumping up and down. Even some of the tough training officers were clapping. I managed to get to my knees, then to my feet. My legs were wobbling, but I was standing. Martinez walked over to me. His face was unreadable. He looked at his clipboard, then at me. Then he extended his hand. I was wrong about you, Williams. Completely wrong. His voice was sincere. That was one of the most impressive performances I've seen in 20 years of doing this. You just completed in 1 week what takes most recruits a month to achieve. I shook his hand. Thank you, sir. No, thank you. You just taught me an important lesson about making assumptions based on appearance. I apologize for doubting you. Word of what happened spread through the entire academy. Over the next few weeks, Officer Martinez kept his promise. He personally trained me and became one of my biggest advocates. But more than that, something changed in him. He started treating all the recruits with less prejudice and more open-mindedness. He told me later that I'd made him realize how many talented people he might have discouraged over the years because they didn't fit his preconceived image. I graduated from the academy 5 months later. Martinez was the one who handed me my badge. You earned this more than anyone, he said. Never forget what you're capable of. Today, I'm a police officer serving my community. I work with at-risk youth, and I always tell them the same thing. Don't let anyone tell you what you can't do. Prove them wrong not through words, but through action and dedication. That 1 week changed my entire life. Not just because I passed an impossible test, but because I proved to myself that I was stronger than I ever imagined. Officer Chin became a lifelong friend and mentor. She was promoted to training officer, and now helps recruits who need extra support. And Martinez? He's retired now, but we still keep in touch. He sends me a message every year on the anniversary of my assessment. Still proud of you, Williams. You showed an old dog new tricks. So there you have it. I proved the officer wrong in just 1 week. But more importantly, I proved to myself that I was capable of chasing and achieving my dreams, no matter how many people doubted me or tried to hold me back. That week wasn't just about passing a test or meeting a requirement. It was about reclaiming my confidence, rewriting the narrative people try to place on me, and realizing that the only limits that truly exist are the ones we accept. And if you're facing a moment like that, where someone looks you in the eyes and tells you that you can't do something, that you're not good enough, strong enough, or smart enough, I want you to remember this story. Remember that their doubt is a reflection of their fears, their perspective, and their limitations. It has nothing to do with your potential. Because when you combine dedication, preparation, discipline, and an unshakable belief in yourself, you unlock a version of you that even you might not have known existed. You'll start accomplishing things that once seemed impossible, and you'll look back and wonder why you ever hesitated in the first place. Don't let anyone else write your story for you. Don't let anyone hold the pen to your future. Pick it up, take control, and write the chapters the way you want them told. Full of resilience, determination, and victories that you earn with your own effort. If you enjoyed this story, Please hit that like button and subscribe for more real-life inspiration and motivating experiences. And drop a comment telling me about a time you proved someone wrong, a moment when you surprised yourself, or even a challenge you're battling right now. I read every single comment, and I'm genuinely rooting for you, not just to succeed, but to realize how powerful you truly are. Thanks for watching, and remember, you're capable of more than you know. So step forward, trust yourself, and go prove it, not for them, but for you.